Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, my name's Morgan. What's up? I am really excited for this video because it's going to be kind of like a follow-up from my previous video, which was all about my weight loss surgery that I had 2 years ago. I think the title was literally just I had weight loss surgery 2 years ago. But that video went into kind of like the story of why I chose to have weight loss surgery and kind of just like my thoughts and really just the story of what's gone down in the past, like, I guess over 2 years now, with that whole process and everything. And this video, as promised, is going to be more specific details and my advice and answering kind of all of the questions that you guys ask me via Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, like every single day, because I get so many questions and it's hard to answer all of them. So I wanted to put it all in one video where I could just lead people to and be like, yo, go check out the video. So the goal for this video is going to be to answer all of those questions. I'm hoping that I don't leave anything out. That being said, definitely if you are interested in this stuff, I highly suggest going and watching that previous video. I'm gonna leave the link to it as just the first thing in the description box below so that you can click on that, go watch that video, and then come back to this. Just because I think that some of the stuff that that I said like in that video won't be said here, and just to kind of like piece things together and know the full story. I think it's important to watch that just to kind of get like the whole situation and reason and everything like that. So the whole backstory. But I'm going to try and fit as much as I possibly can into this video. If you guys haven't noticed, I talk pretty fast and I'm kind of all over the place. So if I forget to say something, I will try my best to put it in the description box below along with that link to the other video. I've been trying to put a little bit more time into typing up the description box for my videos recently. So if I ever forget to mention something and I notice it or catch it, I'll oftentimes go in and type that into the description box. I also keep all of my stats there, so like my starting weight, surgery weight, current weight, any procedures I've had, whether that be weight loss surgery, plastic surgery, what surgeons perform them, some of my favorite things and products and discounts for you guys and stuff like that. Yeah, so always make sure you check the description box out because I'll have a lot of information there. Now, last big announcement before I get into the actual content of this video is, drum roll please, September 20th, my next Team Losing diet bet is starting. So that is literally 2 weeks exactly from the day that I'm filming this. So less than 2 weeks from when you guys are watching this video. If you want to join me and the rest of Team Losing in just like crushing some goals, losing some weight, winning some money, now's the time to sign up. Weigh-ins will be opening pretty soon, so you want to get your spot. I've got some giveaways I'm working on too for you guys, so the sooner you sign up, the more likely you are to win those giveaways, but those will be kept a secret until a later time. If you don't know what Diet Bet is, it's basically a online like service. It's a website, but I use the app personally, but it's an online service where people who have the same, you know, like-minded goal of losing weight come together and use this tool. So basically what it is it's a bet, just like it sounds. So you bet $35, that's my buy-in fee. That's like the cheapest I think that you can do. They go up to like $100 I think, but I try to keep it low just so everyone can participate. And so you bet that $35 basically on yourself. And what you're betting is that you will lose 4% of your body weight in the 4 weeks that the diet bet lasts. Now, even more than the motivation of like wanting to earn your money back, which believe me is quite enough for you, girl, holla to all these broke college students, I feel you, baby. But even more than that, the most amazing part to me is the forum and the interaction that we get to have in that 4 weeks. So the $35 obviously buys you into the game, but what you're getting out of that is access to the forum where everybody shares literally everything. So whether that be recipes and everyone does their own thing, you know, maybe someone's doing keto, someone's doing paleo, someone's on a strict bariatric diet, anything like that. All of those things kind of come together. People share their workout routines, and people just, we talk, you know, it's very real. Like it's talking about struggles you're dealing with, or maybe if you had a huge accomplishment one day, or you beat the binge and you know, succeeded in something for that day. It's an awesome place to celebrate each other and to encourage each other. As you guys know, if you followed me at all throughout my journey, the idea of just like team and community has been so huge for me. You know, Morgan Losing turned into Team Losing, and now I've got this huge family of all of us who have like-minded goals, and we're just kind of like on the same wavelengths and stuff. And that's really what's kept me going, is that sense of community. So why I love Diet Bet so much is because even more so than like Instagram, which is what I've always used, Diet Bet is a little bit smaller and more condensed. You know, Instagram's like this huge world. Diet Bet is like literally everyone has has the same goal for this 4 weeks. We're all on the same page type thing. So we all put our $35 in, betting to lose 4% of our body weight in those 4 weeks. By the way, diet bet, like for all the winners, diet bet guarantees at least your money back, but that would literally mean that every single person would have to like lose their 4%, and I've never seen that happen or heard of that happening. That would be awesome, don't get me wrong. But I believe my last diet bet had, I think, 625 players, and guys, the freaking pot was over 20 grand. I believe winners walked away with almost $50. So at the end of the 4 weeks, if you lose your weight, you lose that weight first of all, and then you win your money back plus some. So it's a win-win in my opinion. Comment below if you're signed up for the diet bet or if you are going to. I'm literally so excited for this, you guys, but I've been rambling too much about this diet bet now. Can you tell I'm excited? Like I said, the last video was it was a long one. It was telling a story. This video is going to be very much more so like a to the point, kind of probably fast moving type thing where I can just give you guys the facts and the advice that I have to give. Not saying that I did everything perfectly or that I know everything by any means whatsoever, but it is something that I've lived through, and I think that in your research before you decide to get weight loss surgery, you should look to other people who have had weight loss surgery. Definitely not just me. Go look on Instagram. Instagram for me was huge in my research and my pre-op kind of phase. Point is, this is probably going to be a bit of a fast moving video, so try and hang in there with me. But I want to start out with, first things first, what surgery I had and why I decided on that surgery. I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or the gastric sleeve, or the sleeve, or VSG, on August 17th, 2015, right, like 2 months after I turned 18 years old. So the first appointment with my bariatric surgeon, we went over what surgery I wanted to have, because there's 4 surgeries that I know about that are weight loss surgeries. There may be more, but as far as I know, there's the gastric sleeve, or the VSG, which I had, the gastric bypass, or the Roux-en-Y, the lap band, and then the gastric balloon, which is the newer one. My surgeon in particular primarily practiced, like his practice was mainly the sleeve and the bypass. From what I've heard, just because of like complications associated with the lap band, more people are opting for like the sleeve or the bypass. I actually didn't even know about the gastric balloon until like a year after I had my surgery anyway. So mainly what I'm speaking from experience on is the gastric sleeve. So with the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, basically, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's the only weight loss surgery that is 100% permanent. The bypass may also be, but I know that the sleeve is less invasive because with the bypass you're actually like rerouting the intestines, whereas with the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, basically all that happens, I say all it is as if it's like not a big deal, it completely is a big deal and it's very permanent, but with the surgery they literally remove about 80% of your stomach. So what's left over is, the reason it's called a sleeve is I guess like the tube like thing, that's stomach that's left over, that little 20% I guess kind of looks like the sleeve of a shirt or something. I never really saw that. It just looks like a little tube. Anyways, the whole idea with having a, you know, 80% smaller stomach than the average person is you can't eat as much food as the average person, or that you were once able to eat. So smaller stomach, less food intake. For me, I didn't have very much of a hard time deciding which surgery I wanted to have. At the end of the day, it was up to me, but my surgeon was pretty like matter of fact, just saying that he strongly recommended the sleeve for me and that he thought that that was the best surgery for me personally. As far as I understand, I think that the bypass, it was sort of like between the bypass and the sleeve. Those are the 2 main surgeries that he does. From what I've heard, the bypass was more for people like with comorbidities or that had like diabetes and things like that, whereas the sleeve was just kind of like the perfect fit for me. Am I happy with my decision? Absolutely. I think I would probably have been fine with the bypass too. I don't know about the other procedures. Like, I have seen people have complications with every single one of these surgeries, and I've seen people get away like perfectly and have amazing experiences with all of these surgeries. So it's an individual thing. Of course, like with any surgery, there's risks. You know, you have a leak in your stomach. Like, there's so many things that can happen, but overall, I'm super happy with my decision. I'll get into recovery more so in a little bit, but just kind of as a general statement. I feel like my personal experience with the procedure itself, with the surgery, went as well as it possibly could have. So I'll get into the details of that. First, what I want to go over, now that we've kind of addressed what surgery I actually had and why, I'm going to talk about the pre-op diet, because this is one thing that I'm sure so many of you guys, if you're looking into having weight loss surgery, you're like, girl, how's this pre-op diet? What's it really like? Because I remember being so nervous for the pre-op diet, and I will tell you now that it probably is the hardest part about the experience as a whole. I am super excited because I have the folder that they gave me at my first appointment at the bariatric clinic. My surgery was with Dr. Sanchez at Ventura Bariatrics, and I absolutely had like an amazing experience. He's great. But this folder is full of paperwork, you guys, so I have all of this information to drop some knowledge on you guys in this video. So I have all the pre-op diet stuff right here. We're gonna get into that, but the coolest thing that was in that little folder, I think, is this little slip here. It was, like I said, from the very first time I went to the bariatric clinic, and it says that the date of this was March 18th, 2015. Mind you, I had my surgery on August 17th, 2015. So that's 5 months is how long the whole process kind of took for me. I know that oftentimes it can take much longer for other people. With the rise of, you know, the amount of people having weight loss surgery is rising very rapidly, and so I know that a lot of bariatric clinics are like impounded, and it's a very long wait, which personally, I know that when you decide you want to have weight loss surgery, it's like you're so eager. It's like you literally feel like your life isn't going to continue until you have this thing done. But in hindsight, I genuinely believe that it actually is a good thing that there is quite a process leading up to having the surgery, because you guys, this surgery is a completely just like life-altering procedure. So I do appreciate that, you know, people have to go through this whole list of things I'll go over with you guys before actually being able to have the surgery. So that being said, March 18th, 2015, I weighed in at 279 pounds. Now, that was not my highest weight that I ever saw on a scale. I had been working out since December of 2014. And so the highest that I personally saw on a scale was 286 pounds. However, I wasn't weighing myself at my highest weight. I'm sure it was closer to like 300 pounds. But my first actual weigh-in at the weight center was 279 pounds. Now, the goal that they set for me, so this was one thing that I had to accomplish among the other kind of things on the checklist. But my doctor set the goal for me to lose, as you can see right here, 14 pounds, which would put me at 265 pounds, and I had to do that before I could have my surgery. The other things that I had to do before being cleared to have surgery was have a psychological evaluation. So that was just meeting with a psychiatrist, and there's this whole like vetting process. Basically, they just make sure that you're like mentally stable and capable of going through something that is pretty, like, it's a big deal. I also went to 2 different nutritionist evaluations. So one was with a like normal nutritionist, and then the other was with a dietitian, like a clinical dietitian who specialized in bariatrics. I was required to go to 1 support group. I had to do some fasting labs. Most people have to do a sleep study and cardiac like clearance. I didn't have to do those, I guess maybe just because of my age. At this appointment, they gave me kind of all of these guidelines, but on here it just says that each meal I should be consuming 20 to 30 grams of protein and at least 64 ounces of water every single day, and that was just supposed to start like right away from the get-go. So you complete all those prerequisites, you check all of that off of that list, and then you're getting close to surgery, but what stands in your way? The pre-op diet. Let me tell you guys, like I said, the pre-op diet probably is the most daunting part of the entire thing. I have a whole packet that I'm gonna go over with y'all, but I'm gonna try and break it down to be less than this entire packet. So this is kind of just explaining like the idea and why you do the pre-op diet. It says, this diet is low calorie, typically 800 to 1200 calories per day. It says, Dr. Sanchez requires a strict diet before surgery. All patients are required to start a liquid diet 2 weeks before your surgery date. Following the diet will not only jumpstart your weight loss, but also help reduce the size of your liver, making the procedure easier to perform and thus decreasing surgical risk. So it's not just to lose weight, you guys. It's like literally for your safety, and it makes the procedure like your liver is shrunk down, so there's less risk of complication and stuff like that. So very important to take your whatever pre-op diet your doctor has set for you, which by the way, they definitely are different from surgeon to surgeon. I knew some people who only had to do like a 3-week pre-op diet. I knew some people who had like a whole month pre-op diet. I also knew people who were able to eat like chicken and stuff on their diet. I personally was on full and clear liquids. So I'll go over exactly what is on that list. So it said that I should expect to consume between 70 and 120 grams of protein daily, and again, a minimum of 64 ounces of water a day. Now, one big thing it says here also is to find a protein shake that you like. They recommend doing one that has less than 5 grams of sugar, less than 5 carbs, less than 5 grams of fat, and more than 25 grams of protein. So my personal favorite was Premier Protein. It probably still is, to be honest. It is a whey protein, and I've kind of been switching to more like plant-based, not fully yet, but I am liking like Sun Warrior protein and like pea protein, plant-based stuff. But if you are cool with whey protein, I strongly suggest trying out Premier. I believe the cheapest way to get it is at Costco or Sam's Club. I usually get mine at Costco. My favorite by itself is the chocolate flavor, and then with the vanilla, I usually mix it into my coffee, or I blend like frozen fruit into it, and it's like so good. Definitely find one that you like though, because even still, I'm 2 years out and I feel like protein shakes are just something that will be a staple in pretty like almost any bariatric patient's diet. So finding one that you like as soon as possible is definitely something that will benefit you. So find your protein shake and start taking vitamins. Your doctor should give you a complete list of vitamins that you need to be taking with weight loss surgery, specifically the sleeve. Because your stomach is much smaller, it physically does not allow you to consume enough food that has enough and therefore enough nutrients for your body to intake that will kind of keep up. Like, you can't physically consume enough nutrients, so you have to supplement basically for the rest of your life. So starting that habit again early on is definitely something that will benefit you. Now here is the list of actual like examples of specific things, specific liquids, so the difference between clear liquids and full liquids that I was able to eat on my 2-week pre-op diet. 3 days before surgery, I was on only clears. So up until then, I was able to have these full liquids, which include hot cereals. So like for an example, oatmeal, grits, cream of wheat. All of those are unsweetened, by the way, no added sugars. Creamed soups, yogurt, sugar-free pudding, fat-free milk, protein supplement, so your protein shake. So those were the full liquids, and then clear liquids, which I could have the entire time, were water, of course, diluted juices like fruit or vegetable juices, broth-based soups, flavored water, unsweetened tea, coffee, Crystal Light, sugar-free beverages, sugar-free Jell-O, and sugar-free popsicles. You're gonna find yourself having to get pretty creative with all of this stuff because it does get boring. So main advice on the pre-op diet is just to follow it. Honestly, all of these rules are put into place because they work. This is your roadmap to success. I suggest taking it very seriously. I know it can be so hard, but like I said, these rules are put into place to be followed. And if you follow them, you will see results. So many people have lost like tons of weight and completely changed their lives with this procedure. And if you follow the rules that are set in place, like there's no reason why you can't be one of those people. So definitely take this stuff seriously. Okay, so you make it through the 2 weeks and comes surgery day. Now, as far as the actual procedure goes, like the procedure itself, the surgery, the recovery, and everything like that, I feel like for me, like I said at the beginning of this video, I feel like it went the best it could have possibly gone. I have had several surgeries before that and since that as well that I can compare it to. And I would have to say that the actual surgery was probably one of the easiest surgeries that I've ever had. As far as incisions go, I believe I had 5 incisions. I'm pretty sure that like every gastric sleeve surgery has like the same incisions. One of them's a little bit bigger because they actually pull your stomach out of it. Guys, I actually had my surgeon take a picture of my stomach that he removed. If you're squeamish, actually, I'm gonna input it right here. So if you are squeamish, look away. You've been warned. You're about to see my actual stomach inside of a Ziploc bag. So kind of gross. As far as pain after surgery goes, it's probably important for you guys to know that I am a huge baby when it comes to pain. My actual pain tolerance is pretty high, but my fear of pain, because having gone through like really painful medical stuff, I fear pain so much that it gives me a ton of anxiety. So I'm always like, give me all the meds. Give me those pain meds. The Vicodin, give it to me, girl. Simply because of just like my fear for pain. So my probably one mistake was not getting off of the medication, the pain meds, as soon as I probably should have. They I'm pretty sure will give you a liquid form of your pain medication, just because after surgery you're not going to be able to swallow pills. It's hard enough to swallow liquids, so you'll probably be taking like, for me it was just like a liquid codeine or Vicodin, something like that. I was taking that for too long though, and you don't want to take, I mean obviously you don't want to be in pain, so like take the meds that you're prescribed for the pain, but you don't want to get to the point where it starts working against you, like with constipation and stuff like that, and just like I was really sad and stuff, and it affects your mood, and it's just, I don't know. I strongly suggest getting off of your pain medication as soon as you can. And overall, I haven't seen a lot of people be in like excruciating pain after surgery. One thing that is normal is gas pain. It's kind of normal with any laparoscopic surgery, just because they do pump your abdomen full of air or gas. And so for me, I had it really bad, like in my shoulders. I know that some doctors recommend using Gas X. My surgeon did say that I could take it. However, I don't think I ever did. The best thing you can do though for the gas pain is walk. Literally, you guys, as soon as you are physically able, like, to walk. And even when you don't think that you're physically able, because you probably won't, and you're not gonna feel like walking, but honestly, my nurses had me up and walking within an hour of waking up from surgery. Bless up that they did, because it's definitely important. So get up and walking as soon as possible. Get off your pain meds as soon as possible. And as far as the rest of recovery goes, I'm pretty sure that the standard like hospital stay time is just 1 day. I think I was in for like a day and a half, just because I'm a baby and I'm dramatic. Basically, they just want to make sure that you can walk by yourself and stay hydrated, which is another huge part I'll get into right now. But as soon as you can do those things, you are pretty much cleared to go home, at least in my case and everything else that I've heard. So, hydration. It is the weirdest thing after surgery, you guys. You wake up from surgery and you're a completely new, I mean, it feels like a completely new person. Your stomach is like that of a baby. You literally have a brand new stomach, and I always compare it to a baby because it's literally, it's a new stomach, and you have to slowly introduce different foods and stuff like that. My post-op diet, I'm going to get into, it was over the course of 6 weeks, you kind of reintroduce foods, starting with like clear liquids to full liquids to pureed foods and soft foods, and then like slowly on to reintroducing normal, regular, hard foods. But in those first couple days, first couple weeks even, your surgeon will urge you to get in a certain amount of protein and a certain amount of water each day. Now, the weirdest part, you guys, is that you probably won't be able to meet both of those goals. And I know that that's something that a lot of people stress over. Don't stress too hard. It's, you know, it's expected that you're not going to be able to like hit those goals 100% of the time, but of course they should be in place, because ideally you would be getting a certain amount of protein. Protein helps with recovery and helping with like the feeling of being full and staying satiated, which can be tricky once you've had weight loss surgery and had 80% of your stomach cut out. But in my opinion, one big piece of advice that I would give is, if you are having to kind of trade off or prioritize because you're not able to get in both the water and protein from your protein shake, by the way, is usually what you'll be drinking, I would strongly suggest for that first week to make sure you get in your water, because while not getting enough protein may make you feel a little, you know, like not very good, not getting enough water and being dehydrated will send you right back to the hospital, and that's something you definitely want to avoid. You know, you want to recover at your home and not have complications and stuff, so make sure that you're staying hydrated. It'll get easier over time. You'll be able to get in that protein, but for that first week or so, definitely make sure that you are staying hydrated. And doing so is going to require that you are sipping, and I mean like sipping all the time. It's all you're ever going to do, because as a weight loss surgery patient, even still, like 2 years out, I'm not able to gulp anything. Like, it hurts physically going down and stuff. So you're able, like, you can only take little tiny amounts of stuff at a time. So you want to constantly have some sort of liquid with you. This is green tea. It should really just be water or protein when you're initially post-op. And you just want to constantly be sipping, because you can't do it all at once. Like, you have to spread it all throughout the day. It is quite the task throughout the day to, you know, honestly, for the first couple of weeks, to get in all your water, your protein, and then adding in like any medications that you take. I know I was on omeprazole, or I believe, what's that for? That's for like the acid reflux, I believe. It's Prilosec. That's like I think omeprazole is the generic for Prilosec. But I'm pretty sure most people are put on Prilosec for a couple months or so. But I remember I used to have to like take the pills apart and pour the little beads on like sugar-free Jello or pudding or whatever, because I couldn't swallow a whole pill. That gets easier over time. Now I can take, you know, a few pills at a time. It's really just part of the process. But speaking of the process, after surgery, I wrote down kind of like what this diet looks like, because the post-op diet isn't any fun either, but I have to say it's probably easier, at least it was for me, than the pre-op diet, because I just had 80% of my stomach cut out. Like, I wasn't as hungry, you know, I couldn't fit as much food. But I will say that like your full feeling is so much different. Like it's not being full and, okay, so like full and satisfied are now two separate things. Before I had surgery, it was like I wasn't full until I was satisfied. Does that make sense? Probably 90% of the time I get full before I'm satisfied, and I'm like bummed out that I can't, you know, finish that sandwich or whatever. So for the first 10 days, I was on clear liquids. So that was that list I went through with you guys. And then I met with my surgeon at like 10 days post-op, and then he cleared me to go on to full liquids. And I did full liquids until 2 weeks out. After 2 weeks, I added soft and pureed, mainly just pureed foods. Like I think it wasn't until like 4 weeks that I added in like a scrambled egg, and I could barely eat any of it. I took a couple bites. Now my stomach is really sensitive to eggs. I know it's actually pretty common I mean, first of all, you have a completely new stomach, so like the things you like and your taste buds it's just different. It really is. But I know it's pretty common for people to come out of the surgery being lactose intolerant. I don't know why. I guess it's just like a hormone or whatever. The digestion of lactose is different. And so a lot of people can be intolerant to it. Anyway, so over kind of that amount of time, so leading up to like 6 weeks post-op, you slowly add in like soft and pureed foods. And then once I was at 6 weeks, then I was cleared to kind of start regular foods. And that doesn't by any means, you know, mean that like I went out and ate pizza for, you know, like right away, because that would have been, you want to be careful with your stomach. First of all, you don't want to injure yourself or ruin it, you know. You still have stitches and you're still healing and everything, so you want to be very gentle on your stomach. But starting with things, like I said, like a scrambled egg. I know that some surgeons recommend waiting on meat specifically for like 6 months. One person I knew actually had to wait a whole year to eat red meat. Personally, I don't eat meat. I did at the beginning of my weight loss surgery like journey, but I would only eat like chicken pretty much, and sometimes turkey. Okay, so that's what you're eating in those first 6 weeks. Now let's talk about like what's happening with the body. So again, everyone's different. I've seen some people who actually like stall in weight loss, or sometimes you come out of surgery like 9 pounds heavier just because of like water weight and stuff. Don't stress out about that stuff, because within a couple weeks, like your body is going to level out. You are going to lose weight if you get that amount of your stomach, you know, like cut out, and you are not able to eat like hardly any food at all. You're gonna lose weight. So don't be stressed out about it if you're not losing weight in the first couple weeks. It's normal. It completely is, and it's different from person to person. But those first 6 weeks are amazing, because you will notice that weight is just shedding off. And it makes sense, because think about it. You're eating the liquid diet. Like it makes sense. I would call the first like 6 months probably like the honeymoon phase, because those first 6 months for me, a lot of people refer to the honeymoon phase as like the first year, which I can see kind of like, you know, a lot of people do have a really good, like productive, active weight loss during the whole entire first year. For me, those first 6 months were amazing. I was losing like 10 to 20 pounds every single month. And then when the 6-month mark came around, I noticed that the weight loss definitely slowed down. I was able to eat more quantity-wise. And I was eating more frequently, like, because the way that I eat now and the way that my body works now is I am frequently hungry, but when I go to eat, I can only eat a very little amount, and then like 30 minutes later I'm hungry again, and then I eat a, you know, a little amount. And I know that like my surgeon in particular recommends not doing that, but like the times that I've tried to do, you know, just 3 meals a day, like it actually does say somewhere in the paperwork that they recommend that. I don't know where it is, there's so much stuff right here. But when I have tried to do that, I didn't get enough food in like at all, because I can't, like in one sitting I can't eat a lot of food, if that makes sense. So the number one, I think like the absolute number one piece of advice that I want to give you guys in this video, if you take one thing of it, please let it be to take advantage of the honeymoon phase. Whether that be the first 6 months or the first year, get as much as you possibly can out of it, because I assure you it does get much harder. You're gonna notice that you're gonna be able to eat a lot more over time, and that the weight loss slows down for sure. I can say, you know, I do think that this is different for other people. I know, you know, people who are 5 years post-op and still have like crazy restriction with their stomach, and I can eat much more than them. But for me personally, 2 years post-op, I can say that losing weight for me is probably just as hard now as it was before having the surgery. That being said, I do not regret having the surgery whatsoever, because I was able to lose 115 pounds because I had that surgery. So I did lose that 115 pounds in the first year, and since then I've kind of yo-yoed up and down. As of right now, I am about 20 pounds up from my low, so I have gained weight. Yes, it does suck, but I'm working with a coach and stuff, my friend Brian Turner, and I have a plan in place. I don't plan on, you know, staying this weight forever, definitely, and I definitely intend on probably wanting to lose another 40 pounds, I'm thinking. I'd like to be like between 140 and 150. Right now I'm at like just under 190. So I am still very much on a weight loss journey, 2 years out, and girl, it is hard as ever. Now with rapid weight loss, because losing 115 pounds in 1 year is damn quick. Like that's you know, a lot of weight in a little amount of time. With that, you know, while it's awesome to lose that much weight in such a little amount of time, it definitely has its toll. Like it takes a toll on your body. For me, I get asked all the time about hair loss. Did I lose hair? Yes, I did. You can see even 2 years post-op, I have these little, I have like breakage and flyaways and stuff. Really because it just hasn't grown back as beautifully as I wish it would have. I did recently cut my hair, like I made a major chop. I cut off like 10 inches of it. So I am very happy with the cut, but my hair is, it hasn't been the same since weight loss surgery. I started losing hair, honestly, like during my pre-op diet. The other thing is loose skin, probably like another number one question that I get. Yeah, I have loose skin. When you lose that amount of weight, I mean, of course genetics play a huge role in whether you get loose skin or the amount of loose skin that you get. But when you lose 115 pounds in a year, like, you're bound to have loose skin. I have plenty of it. I have had 1 round of plastic surgery or skin removal. I had a ton of loose skin, like in my armpit area, and I still have like a lot on my arms and stuff. That being said, I have weight to lose. So before I have any other skin removal procedures, I do want to get to my goal weight. But yes, I do have loose skin. My stretch marks faded. That's another thing I get asked about. I didn't do anything, like any creams or medication or anything like that for loose skin or stretch marks or anything, but with your body shrinking, those things kind of just happen. Would I, you know, do I wish I didn't have weight loss surgery or lose weight because of my loose skin or, you know, hair loss or anything like that? Absolutely not. I think that is a completely ridiculous, like, thing to say. I mean, I understand why people would be fearful of it, because yeah, it sucks, you know, like I look like I have like my grandmother's arms, you know, and I'm like kind of balding up here, but you know, so those things suck. But what sucked even more was, you know, looking at maybe 10 years left of life and being miserable and in a body that I was suffocating in. That was a lot worse than losing some hair and, you know, gaining some bat wings and whatnot. Start weightlifting too. I do think that weightlifting can help definitely with the loose skin. I noticed a difference when I was like actively weightlifting. When it comes to a workout routine, I can't say that I've been a good example at all, because I've just been very inconsistent. Working out is something that I enjoy a lot. However, I've just been, like, since I had surgery, I've been extremely inconsistent with it. Like, what I mean by that is I will have a month where I literally go every single day. I'm doing cardio and weightlifting. And then I'll have like 2 months where I don't go a single day during those 2 months. Right now I'm kind of in one of those little not going in 2 months phases, but I'm getting back into it. My coach, Brian, definitely has me getting back into it. And even these body weight workouts, you guys, oh my gosh. I'm not even using weights yet. I'm just using the weight of my own body. And I'm like, whoo, I'm dying after like 10 minutes. It's insane. Okay, so all of that is kind of what I had like at the top of my head. But I'm going to go through, I took some questions from Snapchat and Instagram DMs that you guys sent me. And I just want to answer like some of those so I know that I'm kind of getting all of these questions answered for you guys. So this first one is about hair loss. I kind of went over that, but she's asking if I found anything that actually helped other than, you know, just like the same old biotin and other vitamins and minerals and stuff. Personally, no. Unfortunately, I haven't found anything. I will definitely let you guys know if I ever do. This girl says she's having her surgery September 5th. So actually she already had her surgery. Happy post-op. Welcome to the loser's bench. But she left a few questions. So first one was, what was your favorite protein during your clear liquid stage? Lindora makes a really good like liquid protein. I believe it's called the Wild Berry Cooler. And then they also have like a mango flavored one. Those are really good. I think they're only like 15 grams of protein though, but I mean, you're gonna take what you can get, you know? So I really like those. I think you can get them at Walgreens and then any like standalone Lindora store or clinic. I also liked Isopure. They make a clear, I believe it is a whey protein, but it's like a clear liquid. And to be honest, it's not my favorite when it comes to taste, but they do have a bunch of different flavors, and it's 40 grams of protein for the whole bottle, which post-op is rough because you're not going to be able to drink the whole bottle probably in like 2 days even. But that was something that I did use. Favorite protein during your regular liquids, that was definitely Premier. How long until you went back to work? So most people can get back to work within a week. I know one girl actually, like personally, my mom's friend, she was back to work in like just over a weekend. Like I think she had her surgery on Friday or like Thursday or something and was back on Monday. So a lot of people have stuff like that. Like I said though at the beginning of this video, I am a huge baby, you guys. But even with me being dramatic as hell, after 2 weeks I feel like I was good to go. I definitely could have been back to work, school, and whatever. Did you have anyone come stay with you during your recovery time? I lived at home. I still live at home actually, so I had my mom. She is a saint, that woman. But she was taking care of me pretty much the whole time. Okay, this person asks, when the idea of weight loss surgery was brought up to you, what was your initial reaction? I had known about and considered weight loss surgery since I was like 10 years old, so I wasn't like offended or anything. I was more so excited that I would be eligible and that it could be like the solution to this problem that I've dealt with my whole life, and you know, being overweight. So I was more optimistic than anything. And then they also said, if you didn't do the surgery, do you think you could have lost the weight naturally? Not trying to be rude, just actually interested in your opinion. I don't think that's rude at all. I think it's a really good question that I actually get asked a lot of the time. So do I think I could have lost the weight? Yes, I do. Do I think that I would have? No. Call that like a cop-out or weak or whatever. I don't think that's fair, but I do get that a lot of the times. Like, you should have just done it naturally. You should have done this, should have done that. Whatever with your should haves. Honestly, it's 2017. People are going to do what they're going to do. And at the end of the day, like, I'm a healthy person now. And having that surgery was the single most important decision and the most rewarding decision that I've ever made in my life. And I just wouldn't change it for the world. So do I think that I could have taken another route to lose the weight? Yeah, I do. But honestly, I wasn't at a point in life where I would have taken the initiative to do so. And so I used the tool of weight loss surgery. There's a lot of questions about motivation, how I stay motivated. What I can say about that is I don't. I don't always stay motivated. I'm not always motivated. In fact, right now I'm like strongly coming out of a phase of multiple months where I have just felt like really down in the dumps and discouraged and not on track when it comes to weight loss and my health, or even my mental health, really. And the way that I look at it is basically that motivation comes in waves. You're just not always going to be motivated or inspired to kind of like be directly, you know, headed on the path that you want to be going down. It's just, life isn't like that, you know? Sometimes you're just focused on like surviving or getting through certain things, or sometimes, you know, there's other things that have to take priority, which of course is unfortunate, but you know, not everyone has the luxury of just worrying about losing weight. And even when you do, like, that's hard. It's a hard thing to do. So my biggest piece of advice is, when you are on your grind, like when you are motivated, get as much as you possibly can out of that. Kind of similar to what I said, you know, about that honeymoon phase, that first 6 months to a year post-op. Milk it, you guys. Get as much as you possibly can, because there will come a day that isn't so bright, you know? And, you know, being able to capitalize on the times where you are really kicking ass is a very like responsible, just a very good thing to do, because there will be rainy days, and taking advantage of, you know, the good days it will help kind of compensate for those bad days or those bad periods of time. Because let me tell you, there will be times where it's just not one bad day. It can be a bad week or a bad month, and I've been experiencing that. But I can honestly say that I am coming out of it. And don't cheat yourself into just accepting not being motivated or not having inspiration or not moving forward. That is a cop-out. Okay, I understand it's completely normal, and it is okay to, you know, not be okay or to not be motivated, but to not seek motivation and to not want it and visualize it and speak it into reality, you know, and tell yourself that you're powerful, and to try and be empowered and to just want to be successful. There's no reason to not want those things. Never stop like seeking that motivation and wanting to be on your grind. You should always want to, even when you're not. And it's okay not to. Fake it till you make it, though. Honestly, basically anything I've accomplished in my life, I have faked it until I made it. This person asks, did you plateau at a certain point? Kind of went over that before. 6 months for me definitely slowed down. After a year, it was very much slowed down. How does everyone react when you tell them you've had weight loss surgery? You get mine in a month, and that's your biggest fear. I haven't told anyone in my family but my parents. I've had, well, to be honest, I've had mostly positive reactions, but I did have like a family member who was, I don't know, they weren't educated, and they voiced an opinion that just wasn't needed or wanted. Turns out that they're very supportive now down the line after they see what I've, you know, what weight loss surgery has allowed me to accomplish. But I don't know, people are gonna say what they say, and they're gonna think what they think. Everyone has an opinion, and honestly, if you live trying to please everyone, you'll turn into a robot, and even a robot can't please anyone, you know? So if you're making definitely make the decision for you. Don't have weight loss surgery because someone else wants you to, and don't not have it because someone else doesn't want you to. You know, if it's what feels right for you and it's what's right for you in your journey, you find a way to do it. You make it happen. Okay, my camera's about to die, so the last question I'm gonna answer is what size I started at, and then what size like jeans I'm wearing now. So as far as pants go, I was in a size 22, like torrid jeans, and now I'm wearing usually like anywhere between an 8. So like in Lululemon leggings, I'm like an 8, or even sometimes like a 6. But then in some jeans, I can go all the way up to size 12. So it just kind of ranges. Usually, I'm not really any bigger than a size 12. But as far as shirts go, I was in like a 3X, 4X, craziness. And I now wear like a large. I would say like on average I'm a large. Sometimes wear medium, sometimes extra large, you know, whatever. Yeah, okay. Well, you guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. If there's anything that I forgot or anything I didn't answer, please leave a comment down below, and I'm going to try and be really active down in the comment section, just getting back to you guys with anything I didn't address in this video, or maybe I'll make another video in the future. But if you are looking into having weight loss surgery, I would just want to send you a lot of encouragement. I know that it's a huge life decision, and it can be scary. It really can. But I just want you to know that if you really feel like it's what's right for you, you've got this, boo. People have done it before you. People will do it after you. There is no reason why you can't be one of those incredibly successful people who completely changes their lives. And my friends, at this point my camera died. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a comment down below and give this video a thumbs up, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Much love!